One of the hardest things about being an artist is promoting your work, self-promotion. It doesn't typically come naturally for, I think for most people in general. I had a question or two about that, and most of what I've learned has been from just trial and error over a really long period of time, and just watching what other people do and seeing what works and what doesn't. So I came up, this is not like necessarily, well, it's definitely not an exhaustive list of things to do, but if I had to identify the four things that near the top of the list to keep in mind when you're self-promoting, it would be these. The first one, and I had to write them down as always so I wouldn't forget them. The first one is being, I want to say repetition in putting your art out there, especially on a place like Twitter, Facebook to a certain extent. Things come and go in social media so fast, and social media is typically the place we promote work these days. So when you post an image in the evening, say you did something or you're promoting a book, you should probably post it twice, like maybe one day, and then, hey, in case you missed it, here I did this yesterday, because it's on Twitter, because the feed goes so fast, most people will probably miss it. So and then later on, I've talked about reusing things you've done. So a month later, 2 months later, if there's a piece that you're really proud of, especially if it didn't get the response you thought it might, try it again, see what happens. But as you build up more and more stuff, continue to share things. So the repetition of not only like your most important images, important projects or products or books, whatever, those need to have the most repetition. Now, the danger is, the extreme of that is spam, right? So don't like make every tweet the same thing. Don't make every post the buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. So that and I think most people, when you're doing it, I talked about before, like you always feel like you're promoting more than you actually are, especially if you're not big on self-promotion or you're self-conscious about self-promotion. So I think most people tend to err on the side of not promoting enough. But take a look every once in a while at your feed, see how much time you're spending on if you stumbled across your own feed, your own timeline, would it interest you, and would you think it's just the same person posting the same thing over and over again? Because I have seen gone on somebody's site, and it's not I was pretty sure it wasn't a bot or spam account, but they were so promoting everything was the same thing, same image, and or every time their feed, every time I saw them come up in my feed, it was the same thing. They'll tune that out because that becomes kind of spam. But think about being repetitive over repetitive in the sense that you're posting things regularly and reusing things periodically. Don't think everything has to be brand new, because most people have not seen your stuff. So that's one thing. The second thing is to connect your art with properties people already know. People like fan art. People like new takes on things they're familiar with. So I did there was a month I took like the Warner Brother Looney Tunes things and old cartoons. Like I combined Popeye with Wolverine. I think that's actually my profile thing on Twitter now. Or I did Tasmanian Devil, but like more an extreme kind of like version of him. Or so just putting a twist on things that people know and that people like, whether it's whatever it is. It gives an audience the new thing. The part of you're putting in is the twist, but it connects immediately with something that the person is familiar with, and then I think once you've made that connection and people like your stuff, they're more likely to look at your other stuff and your original work and things. The sad truth is that people always, so if you just look at like the impact and the reach of posts, it will always be something that people are familiar with, will typically always be more widely circulated than your original work, and that's just the way it is, unless your original work becomes the next Star Wars, which I'm not holding my breath for that for me, but hey, more power to you if it's if that happens. The third thing is more just be patient, because it does take a while to get anywhere with promoting things. Take a look every month, every 2 months, see in a program like Buffer, which you can schedule tweets, for example, and post on Facebook. You can kind of see the engagement, how many people clicked, how many people saw it, retweeted it, all that. It'll give you so you can schedule like your art post. I typically do this like if I have sales going on, or if I'm posting art, I'll just schedule them throughout the day, and I can see like what kinds of things are being at times of day are being shared more often, what kinds of things get retweeted or more engagement or whatever. The tool like that is really good, but just be patient, because don't get in the habit of looking today. I didn't have a lot of success, or didn't feel like I had a lot of success advertising today. You can really only kind of see that over a larger period of time. So every once in a while, you need to see what's working and what's not. The other thing too is spend a little bit of money. We live in free social media world, and it's a great thing. But I have found if you spend, like with Facebook or Twitter, whatever, you can spend as little as like 10 to 20, 30 bucks, and get a lot more engagement, a lot more people clicking on things, because a lot more people see it. This is also the age of algorithms and companies sorting through things and trying to navigate how they're going to present information to an audience. The one sure way to make sure you get through that is to give those companies money. And it's not necessarily, like I said, it's not a lot of money, but at a certain point as a business, which as a self-promoting artist you are, you've got to spend a little bit of money here and there on advertising. So I don't know that there's really a way around that, except just become super, super successful viral sensation. But for the rank and file among us, you will have to construct a little Facebook ad, Twitter ad, with your best stuff, and especially if you're trying to get like an audience on your say a Facebook group, or direct them to a website or whatever. Just trying to get your brand awareness, which I can't believe I just said the buzzwords, but that's typically what it is. You'll have to spend a few bucks to do that. So and it can also be something like a Project Wonderful. They do ads. If you have webcomics, you've run into them, where people can bid on ad space, and the more popular, more traffic your site gets, typically the price of bids go up. And on my site, I've gotten to where I let that sit there for a while, and people bid $1 or less or whatever to get these ads up on my site, and that money builds up over months. And then I'll say, okay, I got $20 in that account, and I'll spend it on putting my ad on other people's sites, and that does bring people to the site. I have some pretty decent spikes in traffic when that happens. So advertising works, spending money on advertising works, but also you have to utilize the you have to navigate the free social media world, and spend a little bit of money too, and be patient. And so I don't know if you have something that has helped you. I would love to hear about it, because I'm always looking for new ways of promoting my work. And if something hasn't worked for you, let me know. If you haven't subscribed, I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers. The last time I looked at it, it was like 10 subscribers away from 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed, down here in the corner, you can subscribe. You can over here check out some more videos. I'm going to do a live. I'm going to start doing, I think maybe on Friday or Saturday evenings, a live hangout, just to talk about comics in real time with people, and chat, and maybe draw a little, who knows. So let me know what you think. Hit the bell for notifications. Make sure you're still subscribed, and I will see you tomorrow.